As I'm sure some of you remember, I'm a huge fan of the original Kindergarten. In fact, I ranked it above Mario Odyssey on my Games of 2017 list. I don't stand by that particular choice anymore, but I still really like it. It had fun puzzle mechanics, memorable characters, and what I can only describe as a charmingly morbid sense of humor. So, does the sequel live up to the original? Absolutely. But before I explain why, let's jump into why these games are so great. A lot of people might be quick to write off Kindergarten as some sort of cheap viral game, but it's a lot deeper than you would first expect. At its core, the Kindergarten series are puzzle games where character interactions and quick fetch quests are the puzzle pieces. Also, the comedy's great because so much of it stems from the characters. Just about every character is crazy, extreme, and hilarious in their own way, so their actions drive the insanity rather than the crazy things just happening. And mixing that with the game's endearingly South Park-esque pixel art is one hell of a recipe for success. So, how does Kindergarten 2 stack up against the original? Simply put, it's everything I wanted in a sequel to Kindergarten. For starters, it expanded things quite a bit. The original felt pretty light on content, which is understandable for a $5 game. Kindergarten 2 piles on the content by upping the mission count from 7 to 9 and significantly beefing up each mission. This time, rather than there being 4 segments of the day, there's 5. Plus, the school's much bigger. As a result, instead of feeling like a series of odd jobs, most of the quests feel like real adventures. Also, aside from the first 3, every mission requires multiple items and uses them gradually instead of all at the beginning, which is great as it makes it feel like you really need these items instead of them just being a way to gatekeep. Also, there's the matter of characters. Aside from the lunch lady and the principal for obvious reasons, every character from the original makes a return here, and some of them have seriously changed. Jerome's mourning the loss of his father, Applegate's going through withdrawal symptoms thanks to the principal's pills, and Monty's in a wheelchair after pissing off the janitor. But then there's the new characters, and let me tell ya, they're just as good as the old ones. They're just as funny and feel right at home in the insane world of Kindergarten. In fact, there's so many characters, you can't realistically have a mission for each one. So instead, most of the missions focus on multiple characters. And it works, for the most part. I still think they could have done more with Ozzy, but aside from that small hiccup, each character feels like they get the attention they deserve. In addition to the beefed up missions, there's plenty more bonus content. There's a bunch of costumes to unlock and twice as many Monstermon cards. And this time, you can actually battle with them. It's not anything special, but it's a fun distraction for when you need a break from the regular gameplay. Another major change I was hoping for that this game made was streamlining everything. In the original, if you screwed up, you could only restart that segment of the day or restart the entire day. So if you made a mistake in an earlier segment that's screwing you over now, well, sucks to be you. You gotta restart the whole mission. This was beyond annoying in the first game, but given how long the missions are in Kindergarten 2, it would have been unbearable here. Thankfully, you can now restart from the beginning of any segment in the day to correct your mistakes. Also, skipping through dialogue is much easier, making it so funny jokes don't become annoying due to repetition from trial and error. The funny thing is, both of these are the exact complaints I voiced in my Games of 2017 list. So good on you, Smash Games, for listening to me, and clearly not the other tons of fans who probably had this gripe. Also, the piggy bank's gone. You just start off with a set amount of money, and let's be real, I don't think anyone's gonna miss it. However, in spite of all these improvements, there are some things I feel were downgraded from the original. For starters, there's the amount of carnage. The original game had a ton of random deaths in it. It was practically a running joke just how many people would get killed unnecessarily in the pursuit of your goal. Kindergarten 2 feels relatively tame by comparison. I know I'm talking about a game where a third of the missions have the murder of a specific character as the stated goal, and saying that that game is light on death but that's just how I feel. Honestly, what I think this game needed was a mission in the style of Applegate's in the first game. Can you imagine how awesome that would be? Who knows? Maybe they'll add a DLC mission where the lunch lady wants you to kill everyone. My other gripe with this game is the puzzle solving, or lack thereof. In the original, you solved the missions by experimenting and figuring out what actions would get the proper reactions. It was trial and error, sure, but it felt satisfying when you figured it out, and the hint system did a good job of nudging you in the right direction. Here, they'll basically just tell you what you have to do, taking a lot of the thinking out of it. Honestly though, I'm not sure what to think about this, as I'd probably be a lot more frustrated if they kept in the trial and error from the first game. Plus, the linear missions lead to more satisfying stories, so I guess this negative is a positive in its own way. Also, I suppose this gives both the games a slightly different feel, which is also nice. Despite these complaints though, I still think Kindergarten 2 is a great game. In fact, it's almost guaranteed a spot in my top 10 games I played this year. I do highly recommend it, but I also recommend playing the original first. You don't have to, but the game's a lot funnier that way. And in total, the games only cost 20 bucks, so at worst you just have to wait for a sale. I am Dafawfulizer, and be sure to stay tuned for October. I got at least 2 more videos planned this month. Bye!